Ladies and gentlemen, Tall the Traveling Clad here, your favorite Zionist prince. We're going to take a look at some crazy...
Do you want to see Israel destroyed?
Some crazy college students and street interviewers and dummies being dumb in America. Let's take a little look at it, and crack it out.
Do you want to see Israel destroyed?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's what the nation is talking about, the war with Iran. I went to the big protests in New York City to speak to both sides and all the nuance in between. I will also be exposing the professional protesters that I encounter. Enjoy and welcome back to the Nate Friedman Show.
I noticed there's a trans flag on the library, but this is a protest for Iran, and they don't allow gay people in Iran. So can you explain kind of the irony of that?
Do you understand the irony of what the Supreme Court, the question you're asking me, and what the Supreme Court just decided for trans kids today?
Yeah.
In our Supreme Court, do you know what decision they made?
Yeah, they're not allowing trans kids anymore. They're
That's
not allowing that surgery to happen.
and that's what I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah. Do you believe that we should mutilate children?
I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
So what she's talking about is that the Supreme Court upheld Tennessee's law banning gender-affirming care for minors. They ruled that it doesn't violate the 14th Amendment. Now, it actually didn't have anything to do with the surgeries even, but moving forward, this means that states are allowed to ban puberty blockers and hormone treatments for transgender kids under 18 if they want to. It wasn't actually even putting a federal ban on becoming a transgender minor in this country. They've just let the states decide about puberty blockers. And that so-called discrimination, she's saying, is on the same level as Iran executing gay people. That's not speculation either. Iran's top diplomat says that his country executes gay people because of, quote, moral principles. Now, she's out here protesting for Iran in front of a trans flag.
Allahu
holding
Akbar.
this sign for one man, and his name is George Soros. Watch this. That sign she's holding goes to a website, answercoalition.org. It stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. They were founded over 20 years ago, and their primary fiscal sponsor is the Progress Unity Fund. The Progress Unity Fund gets their money from the Tides Foundation. Now, guess who gave the Tides Foundation $25.8 million in just 1 year? George Soros. Now, this goes even deeper, but I'll save that for later in the video because this right here is one of the craziest interviews that I've ever done.
Can you tell me what you're doing out here?
Isn't it obvious?
No, tell us.
Protesting.
Protesting what?
Pro-Iran, pro-Palestine,
Yeah.
anti-Israel,
And when you say pro-Iran, are you talking about the government or the people?
both. Definitely the government.
Definitely the government.
Yeah, I mean the people in the government, but yeah, I'm thrilled about the Iranian government.
You were thrilled about it?
Yeah, I mean it's the only country that stands up to Israel.
Yeah. Were you
And
at
will
the...
hopefully destroy it.
Yeah. Okay.
Iran is the only country that stands up to Israel and will hopefully destroy it. Not exactly a call for peace that you'd expect to hear at a protest like this.
One of the things that the Iran government, and that's what I've heard from some of the Israel side, they said that they make you wear a hijab and that is crazy to make the people do. So what is your response to that?
We're going to overthrow the government because of that? I mean, it's obvious bullshit like everything else.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
totally.
it's bullshit that Israel really, or that they give a about that. I wish the Iranian government didn't do that. And again, I think they have bigger issues than that. And it's really stupid to piss off
The oppression of women. We'll just put that one to the side real quick. We got bigger fish to fry. Thank you very much.
population for no reason. And they've definitely eased up. There are protests against Israel now in Iran with women without hijabs that still want to destroy, against Israel, that still want to destroy Israel, and they're not wearing hijabs.
I have not found any credible reports of women without hijabs calling for the destruction of Israel in Iran. There have been many anti-hijab protests that result in many arrests, although. Most famously when Mahsa Amini was killed in police custody over wearing an improper hijab. That started multiple protests against the regime, and counter-protests began with people saying death to Israel and death to America, and they were the ones wearing hijabs.
So again, it's bullshit. It's like Afghanistan.
No, I
we
understand.
started the Afghanistan war for women, to get educated.
Yeah,
Now
I
we left
understand.
and we don't give a flying after we destroyed it.
I get it.
So it's usual propaganda because they think ignorant Americans are going to go, yay, women, we care about women, we don't care about, but fortunately most Americans know that bigger
So
issues.
you would say that you do have issues with the Iranian government.
I mean, yeah, I wish they didn't enforce the hijab. Yeah, again, it's not a hijab.
What
It's
about-
a headscarf. They wear like the loose, headscarf.
Yeah.
It's not a hijab, it's a headscarf.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think women, like, I'm against countries like France that forbid wearing the hijab, like, I think women should be able to do whatever the hell they want.
So France does allow hijabs. In fact, by the look of how Europe is doing right now, you could argue that it's encouraged. The French Soccer Federation did ban participants in competitions from wearing religious symbols such as hijabs, and the French also don't allow you to wear conspicuous religious symbols in public and secondary schools. Now, both of those bans prompted many protests with women wearing hijabs, so by no means is the hijab completely banned in France.
Iran is funding Hamas and Hezbollah. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Like, do you feel like that's a good thing to do?
of course.
Okay. And why is it a good thing?
Resistance to
Understand. No, I completely get it.
Israeli
Yeah.
crimes.
Yeah,
occupation crimes.
I understand.
absolutely.
I understand. So they think how could you fund Hamas because Hamas did October 7th? What are your thoughts on that?
Resistance.
Yeah.
Resistance is actually legal. Resistance to illegal criminal occupation is actually legal. Like, Israel does not have the right to defend itself against the people it's occupying, but the people it's occupying have the right to resist.
Gaza wasn't even occupied. Israel withdrew in 2005, and according to her, Israel should have let Hamas eliminate as many Jews, Arabs, and Christians living in Israel because Israel doesn't have a right to defend itself. This woman living in America is pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, and according to her pin, she's Jewish. If you ever wondered how in the world there were Jews who supported Hitler, well, now you're getting to know one of them who would have. The Association of German National Jews was an anti-Zionist and anti-communist movement. They thought that Hitler would rescue them from this horrible movement called Zionism and save them from communism. They just ignored how Hitler wanted them dead, and of course that's what happened. Just like now, Hamas has been clear since its inception that they want to eliminate every Jew on earth, and yet this woman just said that she supports them. She is the biggest chicken for KFC that I have ever encountered. This woman you are listening to right now is also saying that the kidnapping and murder of the Bebas babies counted as resistance.
So the military part, which it was originally started as a military action, and then it ended up being too easy. And yes, after they broke out, some other people followed it, whatever. I'm against, the civilian deaths, although a lot of the civilian deaths were the Hannibal Directive, like Israel killed them. But yeah, so, and the rapes and the child beheadings, that's all bull crap, like that didn't happen. But there were, they killed some civilians. I'm against that. The attack on the military base.
Hold on, I'm confused. You're saying you're against, because I think the number's like 1,200. Right?
Again, Israel killed a lot of them,
Okay,
yeah.
right. I understand.
I think I think it like that was original. I think it got lower.
Okay, but so you are against,
military.
okay, but you're against the civilian deaths in Israel? You are against it?
I'm against the civilian, like I'm against the few civilians that Hamas killed. Again, Israel killed most of them.
When you say a few, so are you saying that Israel killed like 1,000 of them?
Hamas, it was mostly an attack on the military bases that were like surrounding, Gaza. And then again, they assumed that they were all going to get killed. But then they didn't, because that operation was too easy, because IDF only knows how to kill unarmed civilians. And then they were roaming around, and they did end up killing some civilians, which I am against.
Are you saying, because I watched the footage of October 7th, the like uncensored, footage.
They killed some civilians.
And I saw that like the kibbutzes that they're killing. Are you including that? And you're saying?
I'm including that.
Wow. Okay. Hamas filmed their own atrocities on October 7th, most of which you can still find online. To claim they only killed a few civilians is a blatant and pathological lie. As for the Hannibal Directive, it has nothing to do with targeting civilians. Its sole purpose is to prevent Israeli soldiers from being taken hostage, which can sometimes involve risking the soldier's life to stop an abduction in progress. It's a policy that has been retired for nearly a decade, and there were some reports that it may have been reinvoked on the 7th, but it's very irresponsible to compare an extremely niche case of preventing horrific captivity of a soldier to Hamas intentionally targeting children. Now, the protest is about to move toward Times Square, but I didn't want to end the interview just yet, as I felt that we were getting closer to the truth behind this movement.
Do you want to see Israel destroyed?
What?
Do you want to see Israel destroyed?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, your pin says you're Jewish, right?
At this point, I do. I used to believe in the one democratic state solution. Okay, so Iran is not like carpet bombing. They're not doing a Gaza and Israel. They're going for military targets. So yes, I want them to destroy bases, the Mossad headquarters, the airfields, I would love for them to assassinate Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, and Smotrich, especially Ben-Gvir and Smotrich. I don't care about Netanyahu. I would love for them to do that, yes.
Okay.
And weaken it to the point where it can be like imploded from within.
Would you say that it's fine if millions of Jews died in that process?
What?
Would you say that it's okay if millions of Jews died in that process to that pursuit?
Well, as long as the Israeli government is using them as hostages. Do you know they're not allowing them to leave? Like Israeli citizens are not. What does that tell you?
Well, she's finally said the quiet part out loud. She is perfectly okay with a genocide if it means taking out two political opponents. A genocide of her own people, by the way. Now, of course, it's evil. That's hard to comprehend, but at least you are hearing it for yourself, and it's not something that you have to guess anymore. As for Israel, quote, not letting their citizens out, yeah, closing the airport because you are being bombed by Iran isn't exactly imprisoning your citizens. It's keeping them safe in the bomb shelters, which are built in Israel and not in Gaza because Israel values human life and Hamas does not. So who's behind these claims? Who's funding this movement that she's a part of? Keep watching as I'm about to tell you. But first,
listen, everybody, I recommend you go watch the full video. I believe it said his name was Eitan Feingold. Nate Friedman. I don't know why I said Eitan Feingold. I don't know who that is. Nate Friedman show. Go check him out. He's unbelievable. He'll be linked in the description. Incredible reporting. He did even more. And I mean, listen, this just, it tells you everything you need to know. Like, I don't really have much, there's not much I could say. I encountered these same people in New York City when I was there. If you guys saw the video, and I do have another banger coming out of New York City that I did while I was there. But it shows you everything you need to know. These people are totally okay with just mass murdering civilians. And first of all, the woman that he interviewed, that woman with the kafia, clearly she's not okay in the head. Like 100%. You can see just by the way that she speaks. And I'm sorry, it's not here to be discriminatory. I'm not here to be discriminatory against people who may have mental ailments or, you know, maybe they're mentally handicapped. It's not about that. It's not about discriminating against them. It's about, should you listen to their opinion if you know that there's something wrong with them? Now, I'm all about embracing people's flaws and embracing people who have issues, and we should try to support them and build networks for them and support systems for them. I'm totally about that. Even when I was in high school, I was part of a program called Best Buddies for a very short amount of time, but I was a part of it where you helped people who had Down syndrome and autism. I'm all about people who have these mental ailments or people who can't, cognitively disabled. We should be able to support them, but allowing them to get to this point and then listening to them, platforming them. And you see so many people, I'm sorry, you see so many people on the pro-Palestine side who clearly have issues, cognitive issues. I don't want to bring up names right now, but just think about a few in my circle that I've called out who have they're mentally unstable. They feed into drugs, they feed into craziness, they feed into theft, they feed into a bunch of crazy stuff, and it's even public, but they're used as the pro-Palestine martyrs. It's completely descriptive of their side. It's not to sit here and say the Jewish side or the pro-Israel side is full of saints. It's not about that, but look at their side. It's so clear every time you platform them. There's just like a mental instability. There's something wrong with these people. Really. Like, look at Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. You can see it in their eyes. Something's not 100%. I'm fully convinced that Candace Owens is retarded. And I'm not saying it in a discriminatory way. Sometimes I make fun of her for it, but like, I actually am fully convinced the woman has like a mental issue. My two thoughts on it, just notice it, wake up to it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I love you guys very much. Thanks for supporting the channel. Goodbye, Klats. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.